Hello. Now we learned that the Secretary of Defense of United States, Mr. Lloyd Austin, he suddenly disappeared. And where he went, nobody was knowing, not even the President of the United States of America was knowing, not even the Secretary of States was knowing, even the Pentagon press corps were kept into dark, and no Pentagon reporters were having any information about the whereabouts of Mr. Austin. And if you look at the events now, since yesterday, the US media, the Washington Times, and stuff like that, now they are saying that he was having some surgery for cancer of prostate. Now, if they had told all these things prior to surgery, we would have not been discussing all these events. Now, look at the timeline. On December 22nd, Mr. Lloyd Austin goes to hospital. On 23rd, he was back home. Then on 1st of January, he was taken to intensive care because things were not all right. Things were dire. On January the 4th, on 1st of January, he was taken to the intensive care, and on 4th of January, the White House was notified. So, first he visited on 22nd of December to hospital. He was taken on 1st of January to the intensive care, and 3 days after that, the White House was notified about the health condition, about the surgery of Secretary of Defense of the United States of America. And the next day, that is 5th of January, the Congress was notified, the Pentagon made public statement, the secretaries of military forces were notified. And if you look during this time frame, Mr. Austin did not turn over the command of Pentagon to anyone, even not to his immediate second in command, that is Miss Kathleen Hicks, because Miss Hicks that time was having holidays in Puerto Rico. So a big question arises: who was giving the orders to the US military about the actions during this time which they were taking in the Middle East? Even the Secretary of States, when he was touring the Middle East and he was asked about the health situation and about Mr. Lloyd Austin, he said that he did not know. So it is a big statement. The Secretary of States is not knowing about the Secretary of Defense. So something is wrong or everything is wrong, you can say. And the opposition senator J.D. Vance, he said it looks like the engine is running, but nobody is behind the wheels. So it's a big statement, and he is also asking for immediately firing Mr. Austin. Now, question arises, and several question arises, why he did not inform anybody, including the President of United States of America, including the Secretary of United States of America, and why everybody was kept in dark. And listen, Secretary of States is not somebody who travels alone. He travels with a bulk of very senior officials. So in hiding all these things, there are multiple officers, rather multiple senior officers involved. And a big question arises: who is pulling the strings of United States of America? If you say it is Joe Biden, I do not believe that statement, because right now he is a person who is having very severe dementia. I think he is nothing more than a puppet moving around, a puppet made of flesh and bones. And recently, you might have observed, I think, that the White House is using his wife to take him off the stage, because once he completes his speech, he wonders about where to go. He's not knowing where he should go. So, showing her love to the audience, she takes him down the stage. But we understand what's going on. So, this old man is not taking decisions. I think he is made to sign. He is being told, Mr. President, today these are your programs. This you have to sign, this bill you have to present. All these things are going on. So the big $1 trillion question arises: who's pulling the strings of the United States of America? Is it the deep state or someone else? Because the Secretary of State does not know what's going on with the Secretary of Defense. The President does not know what's going on. And even if he was having some small surgical procedure, he would have informed others, because God forbid if something happens to a person sitting on such a powerful chair, then you make preparations for everything. But everybody was kept in dark, and this raises so many questions. And the biggest of the question is, who's running the government of United States of America? There is also a big question mark on the all-knowing Western media, particularly the US media, who were also knowing that Mr. Vladimir Putin underwent cancer surgery, though he never underwent, who were also knowing that Kim Jong Un is not well, but they were not knowing what's going vis-a-vis health of their own Secretary of Defense. So you can understand what is the condition of these people, and what type of news do they serve. And right now, what's going on around the world? The situations are dire. Every Most of the parts of the world, let it be Europe, let it be Middle East, let it be East Asia, they are in trouble. There are conflicts. Situation is hot in many places, especially Europe and Middle East. And these all situations are hot because the strongest country in the world, though its power is decreasing, but still it's the hegemon. And that hegemon is not controlled by someone who should control it. The steering of United States of America is in someone else's hand, and that is the reason behind most of the troubles we are seeing right now throughout the globe. Fortunately, very fortunately, we Indians live in a country, I think, is the most secure around the world right now, because of a very strong leadership, very decisive leadership, and a leadership which have full control and command on government, and takes the decision by themselves which are in the national interest. Thank you.